From WDWNT, the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is ParksCenter. Sorry guys, I had to get on my very cool new hat. Very excited.
That is a sweet looking hat.
Yeah, I figured you'd like that. I'm wearing it just for you, Pete. So tonight we have with us Allison.
Good evening, everyone.
Jill.
Hello.
Kamila.
Hi.
And Mr. Pete Carney.
Siva Co, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
We did it. We made it happen, guys. So we got a lot to cover tonight. So one of the things we're going to talk about is that, I don't know if you guys saw the news tonight or whatever, there's like a new president or whatever. Last night they made a big announcement that that the Hall of Presidents is going to be closed. And that they're going to be adding a new animatronic. So, Pete, are you excited about this? Have you been by? Have you paid last respects to the old Hall of Presidents?
I didn't go out of my way to pay last respects, but I've seen it in the last 4 years. I loved when there was all the controversy 4 years ago, and then there was all those rumors circling that they had already started the Hillary Clinton animatronic, then changed gears because they were trying to get a head start on it. I'm actually surprised that it's going down now and not faster, because normally they won't close it until it's kind of ready, because like they know Biden was pretty much the president. I mean, granted, it wasn't official until a few weeks ago, but like pretty much early December, you knew that he was going to take office. So I wonder if they got a head start and they're ready just to install it now, so it'll only be a short refurb, or if they're doing more to that theater and kind of changing it up. I mean, we've talked on the show for a long time about making that show more interesting, bringing it to the current generation. Doesn't want to sit through a long. I mean, it's super cool. The animatronics are cool. Going all the way back to Lincoln. That's his name. Standing up. I said LinkedIn. Remember President Lincoln?
I think I'm connected to him.
That was a big deal at the World's Fair. So I get it. I get the nostalgia for it. But I'm excited. I hope this animatronic looks. They nailed the look of presidents for so many years, and then you had Frumpy Trumpy animatronics, which was funny. So we'll see how my man Biden looks. I'm excited to see it, and I hope it is a quick refurbishment.
Yeah, I think the big question is like, will Biden have a speaking role in this? Because everyone's like, okay, well, the first half of the time that this attraction has been in existence, the current president didn't speak, but that changed with Bill Clinton. And so now it's become, as the country's become more polarized, is it worth it to have this? And I think this is the biggest question, especially now with needing cost savings. Like, are they going to invest in having a whole new show done and all of this? And I think the answer is yes, because I think it actually does draw people there and it gets people talking about it and thinking about it, and I think that's worth it to them. And so I think he's going to have a speaking role, and I think that tradition from '92 is going to continue at least for the next 4 or 8 years.
Well, Morton, I'm sorry, Jill. Eric Morton is trolling us in chat and saying they're retooling the Donald Duck animatronic to be one of the presidents. I don't think that's true. Sorry, Jill. What were you going to say?
¿Dónde está Donald?
¿Dónde está? I think that exactly to Allison's point about how polarized things have become, I think the problem is it now becomes a statement if they don't. They were doing it, and then all of a sudden it came to mean something that Disney probably never intended for it to mean. But now the problem is if they stop doing it, it's going to mean something that Disney doesn't intend it to mean. So I think they kind of back themselves into a corner completely without realizing it, that now we have to do it, because if we don't do it, people are going to associate a meaning to that and they're going to get angry about that. I appreciate that I feel like this is a day where we need to lower the temperature, as the phrase is today. And I appreciate that Disney went ahead and did this without a lot of fanfare, that it just, the attraction just went dark and nobody said anything really. We said something, other Disney blogs said things, but Disney didn't really say anything. It's just the attraction went down for refurbishment today. So I appreciate that a big stink wasn't made about it. I think that was absolutely the right way to go today.
Yeah, and it happened so late last night that it was sort of breaking news, and Tom added it into the News Today report for today, so check that out. So moving on to the next thing, France. France has an expansion, but it's not quite as exciting yet as it hopefully will be at some point. There are now bathrooms that you can go to. They've opened up a whole corridor, and Jill, you were there this weekend. Are you excited about the new bathrooms?
I use them. So this was fun because we were walking around World Showcase and we were coming up from the Mexico side and coming around. And as we're approaching France, I kind of looked and I was like, wait, there aren't bushes there anymore. And then I kind of started running a little bit and I'm like, oh my God, it's open. And of course, had to beeline back there to see exactly what the deal was, how much of this can we get to? And oh my God, is Ratatouille open? Which, of course not. And even the Creperie is not open yet. But just the fact that you could walk back there was super cool and an exciting surprise that I didn't know was coming that day. And I got to see Pete Carney there, which was added bonus. But the area is nice. I will say the area is nice. There are some sort of little bumped out seating areas where you can sit and overlook the water right there. The Skyliner's going right above you. It's a nice little area. Even just the small amount of space that's open. The facade of the building is really nice to look at. I took a little selfie in front of the lamp pole there with that little mural on the wall behind it. The restrooms, this was my take on the restrooms. They're nice, they're classy looking. It's kind of dark and a little bit more sophisticated decor, but they clearly haven't gotten the water pressure right on the sinks yet because the sink tops were soaking wet. The water is coming out of the automatic sink way too hard and spraying everywhere, and the sink tops were coated with water. I have
a theory on this, is that the older the bathroom, the lighter the water pressure. If you go into some of the older bathrooms around Epcot, you barely get anything. It is a trickle down, barely a drop. And then if you go to new bathrooms or the newer ones, you get this fantastic water pressure. Yeah, there's water everywhere, but who cares? I also didn't know these were bathrooms. I walked in, knocked on a stall and asked for a crepe, and the guy got really mad at me. But I love new bathrooms at Disney. No one talks about it, but everyone kind of talks about it. Everyone knows their favorite bathrooms in every theme park. We all know, Punzel's Poopers, the Magic Kingdom are a great little bathroom. Or if you want some privacy, you, go into the Rose and Crown and use those bathrooms in there. Nice little privacy, no one's knocking on the door. Where, if you're in Germany, those bathrooms are boom, 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 always moving, there's a party going on. So bathrooms are exciting. They open up the avenue. The murals were pretty. The flowers were nice. But, we've seen this from the Skyliner, and we've seen all the updates. I've never seen more excitement. It was great seeing you there, too, Jill. But, all the Disney vloggers were, huddled outside when I was walking out. I've never seen more excitement for, a 10 by 100-yard, sidewalk opening with bathrooms at the end. It was happening there that day. But this is a sign of...
It was such a tease.
I'm sorry,
I feel like it was such a tease. I was just going to say, I feel like it was such a tease because I think so many of us thought, oh, it's a 3-day weekend, it's a holiday, Disney likes to open new things on holidays. Maybe this is going to be the weekend, we get Ratatouille, and instead we just get new bathrooms.
Yeah, it is, I almost want to say it's better than nothing, but maybe it's not. I do have a question, though, looking at these pictures. Does this seem like a fail? They've got this you were talking about this, Jill, this mural that you said you took a picture in front of, and there's this lamppost sitting square in front of it. Is that on purpose to make sure people don't stop there? Once it's open, it just seems like you've got this beautiful mural, a great place to have the next purple wall, and you put a lamppost in front of it. I don't know. Looks a little strange.
I think that's a good point because it's not that wide of a sidewalk, and there was already a lot of traffic when I was there just for bathrooms. So once this ride opens up and once this creperie opens up, that sidewalk is going to be a disaster. Like it is going. Yeah. You're going to need traffic guards. So I don't think. Yeah, I think they definitely don't want people stopping. So maybe it's a good lamppost putting it there. I don't know.
Counterpoint.
Okay.
Counterpoint. You get to hold on to the lamppost, especially if there are two of you. You're holding on to the lamppost. It's almost like a singing in the rain kind of vibe. No, I think it's on purpose. I think it's kind of like, oh, I'm hanging from the lamppost, and look, there's this pretty mural behind me. No, I think this is an artistic choice. I don't actually think that. I don't. Yeah, I think there's a point to it.
Did you and Jill do that when you were there? Both hang on to the lamppost? Is there a photo of that?
I was too afraid I would take down that lamppost. I like to make sure other people do it first before I start throwing my weight around Walt Disney World.
That's fair.
No,
That's
but
fair.
I wish I had been able to do it with Lauren.
You could have done it with Lauren. She was hangry, though. We were on the move. She was not entertained by bathrooms. She just wanted food.
All right, so let's move on to a topic that in pre-gaming this, everyone said no thank you, so I'm going to talk about it, which is the Spider-Man ride that's coming to Avengers Campus in California. So we got this video of Tom Holland, and he's here with a couple actors who are pretending to shoot webs. They've got their new spider eyes in... these glasses that look a lot like the glasses from Star Tours. Tom Holland is seen here doing his little shtick that they're going to use for the attraction, for the pre-show, which I love. I love the fact that they're using an actual MCU actor, just like they did in the Ant-Man and Wasp attraction in Hong Kong. There's pictures of them going over all the concept art that we had our hands on about a year and a half ago. But it's really, I'm really excited about this in general, just because I love Spider-Man and I love the fact there's going to be new attractions in California. The problems are, when will it be there? And when it finally opens, it's going to be probably a letdown for anybody who's been on the Spider-Man ride at Universal, because that one is unparalleled, and you've got the same name attached to this attraction, which looks like a gunless Toy Story Mania. So that part I'm a little bit disappointed about. And Kamila, we talked a little bit about this beforehand, and you said you're not really excited about Avengers Campus in general.
Yeah, well, I'm not a huge Marvel person, but I wasn't a big Star Wars person, and I was genuinely in awe at seeing Galaxy's Edge. I will say, though, when you said it looks like it's going to be almost like a Toy Story Mania feel, that was the exact thought I had looking at that video and looking at pictures. It was kind of like, are you competing against the other people in your ride vehicle to see like how many, I forgot what it is that you're trying to catch in that, but you're like shooting these like virtual spider webs, and so it's like Toy Story Mania without the little shooters or whatever, or your hands are the shooters. It's interesting. I'll be very curious to see how it is, but it kind of feels like a ride that, like, I'll go on it. It's new. You'll check it out. But there's some really good rides at DCA, so I'll be curious, how this one stacks up. Is it going to be like a Galaxy's Edge? What's that ride that it was the one that came before Rise of the Resistance?
Smuggler's Run?
Yes, thank you. I was blanking on it. Where people were kind of like, it's okay.
Yeah, Tom in his report said this was the only attraction coming to the land, and I think that the land is going to include the Guardians Tower, but it's obviously that's not a new attraction. That attraction is, I think, one of my top 5 favorites. I love that attraction, even though it's basically a tower with just a really cool addition to it.
We love the fun. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gotta have that fun.
So if no one else, anybody else, Spider-Man, no one, because I know everybody's going to have super...
Listen, I'll jump on the bandwagon.
Ant-Man microbrewery. That's what I'm excited for in that way.
I was gonna say I like this ride because hopefully it takes people and keeps them busy while I'm at the microbrewery trying all the beers. Like, go check out the Spider-Man ride, everybody. I hear it's amazing. I'll be right here. You hold it down. Tell me how it is. Go break a high score. I don't know. And also, on a serious note, all new rides are good things. Like, even if it's cheesy and not everything, Tom talks about this a lot too. You can't have a million e-ticket rides. You need people eaters. You need rides that the whole family can go on. And this is fine. This is going to be some 6-year-old to 10-year-olds super exciting ride that he goes on as a kid, and he's going to really fall in love with it, and he's been following Spider-Man his entire childhood. So that's fun and exciting for that person, and all those Spider-Man fans. Like I said, I'll be at the microbrewery, but hey, new rides are great. Keep building.
I don't want to end up with this being like, I'm really concerned that we're going to end up saying the one at Universal is still better, which is going to be really hurtful, knowing the one at Universal is like over 20 years old. That's what I'm scared of for this ride.
But they're two completely different kind of rides. Like Universal's, I think, like an action ride, also heavily screen-based. So I don't know why everyone loves Spider-Man at Universal so much. I think it's a meh ride at best. Because you have to wear 3D glasses, and I think that takes away from the whole thing, and it's mostly screens, and I don't like that either.
Ride.
So whatever.
Everything you said was this ride, mostly screen-based and 3D glasses.
Understand, but
that's this ride.
I get that, but I think you're comparing apples to oranges. Like that, this is, I don't think, going to be an action ride. I think we all think it's going to be like a Buzz Lightyear kind of ride, where like you're in a trackless. This is not going to be swinging you. You think this is going to be like the other one, where like it's intense. The other one.
No, I think it's going to be worse. I think it's going to be not as good.
More intense than Universal?
No, not more intense.
No, I think it's going to be less.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying you can't compare the two. One's like an intense ride. The other one's like a slow-moving family shooter ride.
You can't have two Spider-Man rides and not have people compare them, especially when one of them is considered the best ride in its park generally.
What are you talking about? We have different versions of rides all over the place. There's like 5 versions of the Haunted Mansion all around the world, and some are clearly better than others. Like there's different versions of rides all over the place. You had 2 different Sorens. You had, I can keep going, but like, people are going to compare things. I just think one is an action version of Spider-Man, meant for more teens and action seekers, and this is more of a family shooter. Gosh darn, that was a fun ride. What was your high score kind of thing. This is like Men in Black at Universal compared to Spider-Man.
Yeah, but see, to me, that's the disappointing part, and it's really funny because no one had any interest in this topic. We're going way over on it, but we're going to do this. So Spider-Man, to me, is like, that's the crown jewel of Marvel. And so the fact that they're going to take that IP, and like you said, Pete, new attractions, great, that's fine. But don't use your marquee IP for a B-list attraction. This should be e-ticket all the way. One of the things that I pulled up real quick while we were talking here is that there is...
They have an animatronic stuntman flying through the sky. That's exciting.
Do people still consider Spider-Man the marquee IP
I was
for
going to say
Marvel
the same thing,
anymore?
Joe. I was like, is
prior to
Spider-Man that
MCU,
good?
Prior to
I've seen one
MCU,
Spider-Man
yes,
movie
that's
in the
a
last
different
10 years.
conversation. But post MCU, that is not the case in the slightest, I don't think.
I mean,
What year is it?
It was big enough that that they sold it off to Sony because it was their biggest property.
What year is it?
Well, okay, it's fine. Look, here's the one thing I wanted to show you, though, because we were talking about this attraction. Shh, it's fine. That there was something we ran a while back about this patent that was filed for a swinging ride system. And the thought at the time was, oh my gosh, this is totally Spider-Man. Like, this is going to be a Spider-Man attraction, and you're going to be able to literally swing through like Spider-Man. So when I had this in my mind, and what they came up with, which, like I said, was like Toy Story without the guns. I mean, because this is what we thought back in the day this was going to be. That's why I feel like I'm a little bit disappointed about what we actually end up getting here. So that's the end of my rant on that one. Let's move on to Disneyland APs, because they're going away, Kamila. Why would you let that happen? You're supposed to be the one making sure they make good decisions on the West Coast. Why would you let this happen?
Well, the funny thing is, I was a Disneyland AP, and then because I have a Premier passport, so I had access to Walt Disney World and Disneyland. And then when they gave us the option to get a refund on the passes, I went that route. But I know the life of a Disneyland AP, and I used to go at least once a month to Disneyland. So I know Disneyland APs are probably shocked, most of them. It truly is a lifestyle out there. If you ever have been to Disneyland, particularly on a Friday night, it literally feels like your local mall. Like, it's just all locals, and it feels like everyone knows each other and, are way too comfortable to be here. But I do actually think, and now I'm saying this as someone who's not local, I think it's a good move. I think it allows Disney to reimagine what their AP program is going to look like in Disneyland. And I think they had been thinking about it for a while. There were a couple of passes that even before the parks closed were planned to go away, or at least there were rumors of them going away. So, I think it's goodbye for now. I would imagine they will come back with something. It's probably going to be maybe on more of a reservation basis. And I think that's a good thing. I think it allows for crowd control. And Disneyland sometimes can feel too much like if you're not a local and you're someone maybe from out of state or truly from out of town visiting for kind of that, more once in a blue moon trip, it can feel a little bit of a weird vibe where it feels like it's maybe 75% locals and 25%, people who have really traveled out of state. So, I'm really curious to see, what it's like, but I know Disneyland people are in shock.
Well, and it feels like they know that that they want to say sorry. They've got this 30% merchandise deal going on. There were annual pass holder magnets, which, by the way, I'm still carrying an annual pass. I want this magnet badly enough that I'm trying to figure out how to send my pass out there for someone to get me one. This is a very cool magnet. I'm sad to see all these type of perks go, but like you said, maybe there's something else on the horizon for it. So, I hope it's good.
To say goodbye to yesterday.
Don't get us dinged. Don't get us dinged, man. You can't do that. Anybody else thoughts on AP and maybe what it could mean for Disney World? I think there was some confusion in the media about whether this was Disneyland and Disney World.
Text messages I got this week saying our AP's gone, as if I first of all am this or Disney. Why are you taking away passes? What happened with the passes? Did you lose your pass? Can I still buy a pass? Can you still buy a pass? So the media is completely blown out of proportion. Disney World will keep doing their pass thing. I think Kamila hit it on the head, where I think they're going to retool what the AP system looks like at all their parks. I think that's why they're not selling new ones. They're letting us renew, because I think it's easy to just say, hey, for me, I just renewed 2 weeks ago. I think it's easier for them to say, all right, Mr. Carney, we'll give you X, Y, and Z with the new program, but they're not selling new ones because they want people to understand what they're getting themselves into. And I think they're doing the same thing on the West Coast. It's just kind of figuring out, or I'm sure they are figured out, but like she said, retooling or reimagining a new AP plan. Also, what were they going to do? Disneyland's not going to open for a long time, and it's been closed since March. It's going to be closed a full year at least. So if you're an annual pass holder, annual meaning year, it's going to be closed for a year. Come on, this isn't crazy. I don't know. To me, it's big news, but it's not surprising news. That's just my take.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to, speaking of closed, there's another park that has been closed for a while, and it's Disneyland Paris. And the thing about this is it closed down the same time we did in Florida. It opened up around the same time we did in Florida, and then they closed again in October. And this closure is going to be longer than the first one. Which is, to me, kind of crazy to think that it's kind of going backwards. But Allison, what are your thoughts on this one?
A lot of thoughts. I think it's a little bit crazy. It does feel like it's going backwards. I get that. But also, there's sort of a light at the end of the tunnel with vaccinations rolling out, and that going to really slow the spread and make things a little bit more like normal, hopefully by the end of the summer. And so I think that's really the calculus here. And when you look at the numbers percentage-wise in Europe compared to here, they've done a little bit better in managing it. Not a whole lot better, but a little bit better. So certainly not as well as places like Taiwan, still less than 1,000 cases total this entire time. Many millions of people in that country, and that's it. They've just done a really good job managing it, and so they've lived pretty much normally since since June, because they shut down early and for a longer period of time, and then they've opened up and had business as usual. My in-laws are there now and enjoying bubble tea and running in the shops, and it's great. And so I think that it probably would have been better if they were more thorough about it in the beginning, and maybe Paris wouldn't have had to do a second shutdown, but that's where they are, and they're just hedging their bets okay, we'll do this now, hopefully save a little bit of the pressure on our healthcare system and hopefully save some lives, and then we'll be open for business as things get really back to normal.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anybody else?
I don't think Paris is... Closed is a strong word. This is like the same crowds they had when they first opened. I think that's a better way to look at it.
But come on, dude. No.
I was there when they first opened. It was very lovely to travel at that time.
Hey,
really beautiful time to visit a very beautiful park.
Before they closed, though, they had an open Ratatouille ride. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
I just think it's interesting because pretty much every other park has gone through. I mean, Disneyland shut down and never reopened. Paris opened and then closed. Tokyo has had its ups and downs. Shanghai. So it's interesting. It's just interesting to me in the context of Florida is the only park that hasn't really had any kind of setback at all since reopening, and now we've got park hopping back.
Governor DeSantis literally throws masks in the air and shoots them with his shotgun. That's like he's YOLO. Like he's the most I don't care governor I've ever seen. Like he literally he won't prioritize teachers for getting vaccinations. He won't enforce mask rules. This guy doesn't care. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure he's called Disney and been like, "Come on, just up your numbers. Come on, just." Bring in 50%. Bring in 80%. He is ready to go. This is the Disney company.
JPEG are like BFFs. Oh, you want to jack up the numbers? They're like playing poker with like Walt Disney World capacity numbers. I'll see your 15,000 and raise you 5,000.
Yeah, fun times. Hey, but on a serious note, I have a question for the panel, and this is a tough one. What the heck with these cookies? I mean, 12 hours? 12 hours. This traffic. This line for a cookie.
What garage did they park in?
Oh, no, we're not going down that road. Don't even talk about that. Just look at,
Lime is the appropriate garage to park in if you are going to Gideon, FYI. There's literally a straight shot from the line.
You love waiting in lines.
This wasn't the mini main attraction collection. This isn't, Rise of the Resistance. These are cookies. These are cookies that everybody waited in line for.
No. This wasn't about the cookies. This was about Gideon's made it abundantly clear that they were going to give you free stuff. That's what this was about. This was about vloggers and bloggers wanting to be there first thing. And then this was about the whole rest of the locals being like, oh, you're giving out free stuff? I want some free stuff. But yes, and to back up Pete's point, I did not wait in this line. I have not actually been able to enter the Gideon store yet, but I have tried the cookies, and I was like, come on, $6 cookie, come on, waiting in line for hours and hours. I don't know about this, but then I tried one, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's a pretty good cookie.
It's a good cookie.
This is why people think Disney fans are crazy. This is it. This is why. This is the kind of thing where people think Disney fans are crazy.
No. This is not Disney. This is not about being a Disney fan, because in the grand scheme of things, Gideon's has zero to do with Disney other than the fact that they pay Disney money to be in this spot. That's like saying people would be in line for 12 hours to go to Lucky Jeans.
In and out.
You're gonna see this at the M&M store too when it opens, because people are crazy about M&Ms and they're gonna give you free stuff. And
I just want to know the other Gideon's location that's in town. Like, what was the line like there? Because if they didn't have a line, and then that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's literally you can walk in, get the cookie, and leave.
What are we doing?
But see, that makes the same point, though, is that because it's at Disney Springs, it has more traffic, it has more people, it has we were talking about there a lot of vloggers. Like, the vloggers aren't showing up at the other location, they're showing up at this one because it's Disney.
Well, theirs aren't laced with pixie dust, if you know what I mean. I'm assuming that's the only reason people are waiting 12 hours.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, all right. So we've solved the equation. Then it's all good. So let's move on to this. So the at Downtown Disney in I don't know if you heard Disneyland is closed. I'm not sure if we've talked about that at all or not. So you can't buy merch in Disneyland, but you can buy merch in California. So they're bringing it to you. They took it out of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and they put it in the Outpost, which they made out of the former Wonderground art shop. So then they just took all that out and put in Star Wars stuff, which to me is kind of disappointing, even though I'm a huge Star Wars fan, because I love that shop. It was so cool to go into and see stuff. Now they're like, oh, that's not big enough, because Lord knows when we're going to open up that land, Disneyland again. So now they're moving it all the way down the street to what used to be the Rainforest Cafe. And the Rainforest Cafe was closed because we were going to build this huge Disneyland hotel down there, and they kicked everybody out. And they were like, "No, psych, we're not going to build that. Come on back." And so now they've got this huge jungle-themed restaurant, which jungle theme, indoor, maybe, I don't know. I mean, I just, to me, I think it's kind of cool that they have a place to sell park merchandise, but there are people who are lining up and going and buying park merchandise for a park that hasn't been open for almost a year. Thoughts?
It's the same as cooking.
I feel like it.
Go ahead.
I feel like it also highlights how reliant Disney was in terms of Star Wars and Galaxy's Edge, how reliant they were on being able to sell merchandise. And to me, that just highlights even more the ways in which they failed when it comes to Galaxy's Edge compared to the Wizarding World, because the Wizarding World has all those magical touches, and yes, you can buy a wand, yes, you can buy, the school outfits and all of that, but you don't feel like you need to really be a part of the magic. Whereas at Galaxy's Edge, they're so heavily reliant on merchandise and getting you to buy, all these things. And, that's what so much of the marketplace is, that now they've got all this merchandise that they're not able to sell because the parks aren't open. So they're literally creating stores so they can still try to sell it. And I would imagine, to push in room maybe for what's new that they also don't have any place to put. I don't know. To me, it just highlights that stark difference.
Hey, Pete, can you do something for me? So we're at 89 likes. What can you do for the people to get us up past 100?
Oh. Guys, if you haven't smashed the like button, I mean, come on, it's absurd. Smash that like button, and if you haven't already, tell a friend to go sign on and smash the like button. Maybe they'll like the show. Sure. What if hold on. I know what'll help the show. I got your back. Hold on, I got you.
Okay, you got me? Wait, no, oh my gosh, what's he going to do?
No, I'm just getting rid of my big red face. All right.
Okay. I see what you're saying. I was expecting.
We have a post to do, and I got to go hang up my wig, so we should promote the wigs.
Okay, Jill, tell us about wigs. Without the mute.
WIGS is the WDWNT Interglobe Society. They are the bestest in the world. They get access through their membership every month. They get access to exclusive content like post shows for this show and News Tonight, as well as other exclusive content like Detailed with Tom Corliss and Ryan Rehab Watches. They also get access to our WIGS exclusive Discord channel, so they can chat with each other, they can chat with us. Right now, WIGS gets special access to a new merchandise item on the carousel of products. This really super cool limited edition. It's New Era, right? New Era WDWNT fitted hat that is Rob, how many of them are there? There's not a lot. So.
There were 100 when we started, but we have several wigs who have already jumped in and grabbed theirs. So
there are not 100 anymore, right?
There are not
so
100
you
anymore.
could join me right now for as little as $2 a month, and then go get your exclusive early access to get that super cool hat. It will not be available to the general public until tomorrow on News Tonight. Our very own Rob is modeling it for you right now.
Wow. What a hat.
And wigs are the best. So if you join WIGS, you are automatically the best.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys so much who are our WIGS members. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us tonight. We really appreciate it. We'll see you each and every Wednesday night here at 9 o'clock Eastern. And have a great weekend. And if you are a WIGS member, stick around for the post show. It's going to be pretty exciting. Pete's going to do some fun stuff, he promised.
What?
I mean, didn't you promise you were going to do some cool stuff?
I always do fun stuff. I'm going to reopen Disneyland in the post show.
Open!
Banana.